Does size matter? It's the question that has haunted humanity since we first figured out what to do with our dangly bits. It's a question whispered in insecure locker rooms, debated in the most toxic corners of the internet, and single-handedly responsible for $1 billion industry of shady pills and terrifying-looking pumps. It is the heavyweight champion of sexual anxieties, the undisputed, undefeated king of comparison. Does size matter? For generations, the world has been locked in a pointless debate between two deeply flawed camps. On one side, you have the size is the only thing that matters crowd, a philosophy primarily championed by porn producers and guys who list their measurements in their dating profiles. On the other side, you have the well-meaning but ultimately dishonest size doesn't matter at all, not even a little bit camp. A group dedicated to soothing fragile egos with a comforting but scientifically dubious lie. Well, today, we're taking both of those simplistic bumper sticker arguments and tossing them directly into the trash can where they belong. Because the truth, as it often is far more interesting, scientific, and wonderfully complex. The real answer to does size matter is, well, yes, but it matters about as much as the brand of salt you use in a 5-course gourmet meal. It's a factor, sure, but it is so far down the list of what's important that obsessing over it is a complete waste of precious mental energy. To understand why, we need to stop thinking like a construction worker with a tape measure and start thinking like a cartographer with a detailed map. The anatomical roadmap of female pleasure. All right, let's get one thing crystal clear. The global, multi-generational obsession with penis length is based on a fundamental, almost comical misunderstanding of female anatomy. It's like training for a marathon by only doing bicep curls. You're developing a muscle that has almost nothing to do with the main event. For this, we need a quick tour of the vagina, but not the vagina as it's usually portrayed in media, as a deep, mysterious, empty cavern that goes on forever. That's not what it is. The vagina is a collapsed muscular tube, a potential space, typically about 3 to 4 inches or 7 to 10 centimeters long when not aroused. During arousal, its walls lubricate, and the inner portion can lengthen and tent to accommodate penetration. But here is the single most crucial piece of information that should end this entire debate. The inner 2/3 of the vagina have almost no nerve endings. It is fantastically designed for childbirth, it's incredibly elastic, but it is not the primary center for sexual sensation. Think of it like a hallway to a ballroom. The hallway is functional, but the party, the music, the dancing, that's all happening in the ballroom. So, where is the ballroom? Where is the neurological pleasure party actually happening? It's time to roll out the red carpet for our hero, the undisputed, undefeated reigning champion of female pleasure, the clitoris. As we've established on this channel before, the clitoris is not a tiny, insignificant button. It is a glorious, magnificent, sprawling neurological masterpiece in the shape of an iceberg. The small external part you can see, the glans, is just the tip. It alone has over 8,000 nerve endings, making it the most sensitive, non-essential organ in the human body. That's more than double the amount in the entire head of a penis. It is a biological marvel designed for one thing and one thing only: pleasure. But the vast majority of the clitoris is internal. It has a body, it has bulbs, and it has 2 legs or crura that can be several inches long, extending down and wrapping around the vagina. This entire internal network is made of erectile tissue, just like a penis, and it swells with blood during arousal, making the entire region more sensitive. So, let's do some simple, logical math. If the most sensitive part of the vagina is the outer third, the entrance, and the primary source of virtually all female orgasms is the clitoris, both its external and internal structures, then what does an extra inch or two of penile length actually accomplish in terms of stimulating the main pleasure centers? The answer is not a whole lot. It's like having an extra long key for a very shallow lock. It might feel impressive in your hand, but it doesn't open the door any better. Penetration that goes deeper is simply interacting with the least sensitive part of the anatomy.
Okay, I hear you thinking, I get it, length is overrated, but what about girth, width? Surely that matters. This is a more interesting point. Girth can play a more significant role for some women because a wider penis creates a feeling of fullness and can provide more friction against the labia, the outer vaginal walls, and by extension, the internal legs of the clitoris. It can feel very good. But even here, it is not a simple case of more is better. It is a case of compatibility is better. A penis that is too wide for a partner's anatomy can be uncomfortable or even painful. It's a classic Goldilocks situation. Not too little, not too much, but just right for that specific person. There is no universal ideal. And now for the legendary, the mythical, the often hunted G-spot. Let's be clear. The G-spot is not a magical, separate organ. It is not a secret button you find with a treasure map. The term refers to a region on the front wall of the vagina where the internal structure of the clitoris is closest to the surface. So when you are stimulating the G-spot, you are in fact stimulating the clitoris from the inside. Can a penis stimulate this area? Yes, absolutely. But so can fingers. So can toys. And what matters far more than size is the angle of stimulation. A shorter, curved penis or a well-angled finger might hit that spot far more effectively and consistently than a longer, straighter one. Again, it's not about the size of the tool, it's about the skill of the carpenter. So, if we're going to collectively agree to stop obsessing over centimeters and inches, what should we be focusing on instead? What are the factors that actually correlate with female sexual satisfaction and orgasm rates? The science on this is overwhelmingly clear. It's not about what you have, it's about what you do with it. Let's call it the holy trinity of great sex. These are the three pillars that truly support the temple of pleasure. Pillar number 1, direct clitoral stimulation. This is it. This is the main event. The headliner, the undisputed, undefeated, reigning champion of female pleasure. Study after study confirms that the vast majority of women, somewhere between 70 and 80%, do not and cannot orgasm from penetrative intercourse alone. They require direct clitoral stimulation before, during, or after. This can be done with a hand, with a mouth, or with a toy. A partner who understands that the clitoris is the center of the pleasure universe is infinitely more valuable and effective than a partner with a large penis. This is not an opinion. This is a biological, neurological, and anatomical fact. Ignoring the clitoris is like trying to start a car by polishing the hood ornament. Pillar number 2, skill, technique, and creativity. A penis is not a pogo stick. It's not a jackhammer. It is, in the right hands, an instrument. And an instrument requires skill. Do you vary your speed and rhythm? Do you change your angle to see what feels best? Do you use shallow thrusts as well as deep ones? Do you pay attention to what your partner's body is telling you? A skilled partner who is attentive, creative, and responsive will always, always be better in bed than an unskilled partner who is just relying on their anatomy. It's the difference between a musician who can play one loud, boring note and a virtuoso who can play an entire symphony. Pillar number 3, the brain. Remember our golden rule. The biggest, most powerful, and most important sex organ of all is the one between your ears. Is your partner relaxed? Do they feel safe and secure? Do they feel desired, adored, and cherished? Are you emotionally connected? All the perfect technique and clitoral stimulation in the world won't matter if your partner's brain is filled with anxiety, resentment, or a mental to-do list for the next day. Foreplay doesn't start 5 minutes before penetration. It starts with the conversation you had that morning. It's in the way you look at them, the way you listen to them, the way you make them feel like the only person in the world. This emotional connection, this psychological safety, is the foundation upon which all physical pleasure is built. Without it, you're just two bodies bumping into each other. So, let's circle back to our original anxiety-inducing question. Does size matter? Sure, in a very small, almost trivial way. It is one tiny, minor variable in a giant, beautiful, complex equation of pleasure. It is a footnote, not the headline. It's the parsley garnish on a perfectly cooked steak. It's nice, but it's not the reason you're at the restaurant. Obsessing over penis size is like judging a Michelin star chef based on the brand of their oven. It completely and utterly misses the point. The real magic is in the quality of the ingredients, the skill of the preparation, the creativity of the plating, the passion and the love they put into the meal. So, let's make a collective deal. Let's stop measuring dicks and start measuring what actually matters. Empathy, skill, attentiveness, communication, and how much you genuinely, enthusiastically care about your partner's pleasure. Because that is the true measure of a great lover. What's your take on this? Let's have a respectful and enlightening discussion in the comments. And if you're ready to trade sexual anxiety for scientific knowledge, make sure you're subscribed to Reality Glitch.